Hi there, welcome to the Robot Program. I'm Professor E. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to build the Revolution Roli robot. To get started, we need to download Easy Builder from our website. So I've gone to easyrobot.com and I'm going to click on Software, Download Easy Builder. So once my file is downloaded, I'm going to click on the installer. Click Next. And I want to choose the typical install. So the setup wizard is installing Easy Builder. And now it's complete. So if I click Finish, and this checkbox is marked, it's going to automatically launch Easy Builder. So the first thing we see here is our Getting Started picture, just like our Getting Started guide. So we're going to click the next arrows to view the information. And it talks a little bit about our clip and play system. This is how we're going to put the robot together. So our two different easy bits here, doesn't matter what they are, they use a pressure fit system to clip together. And we want to gently wiggle our pieces into place. So click Next. And here you want to review the information about charging the battery. You can also check out episode 5 for more detailed information. So once you've accepted all these terms of use, you're going to click through, read through all this information, and then you're going to agree to the terms. Click OK. Now you're either going to create a new Easy Cloud account, or if you already have one, use your existing account. I already have one, so I'm going to enter my information here. And click Save. Okay. I'm going to click Skip for now on the Easy Robot course. You can click on one of those robots if you want more information in our Learn section on the website. Then I'm going to go to the Bookmarks menu and click on Example Projects. I want to open the Roli project. So I'm going to click the green button. And this brings up the example project for the Roli robot. Do I want to open the assembly instructions? Yes, I do, because that's how we're going to learn how to build Roli. If you need to sync your EasyBit library, you will be prompted by the software. Okay, so I'm going to click on the arrow to go to the first step. Step 1 of 3, add rover body. This is my rover body here. And for now, I'm going to take out the tray in the back. I'll just leave that over here. All right, so in my rover body, I have to put the robot controller. So I'm going to take out this top piece here and bring over my EasyB. So you can see in the instructions that it says connect the H bridge, and then it has lots of different connection instructions. So if you're not sure what any of those mean with the ports, you can look at the picture, or you can refer to the Getting Started guide. And in the Getting Started guide, there's a picture of the ports on the EasyB V4. So D0 all the way down to D11, D12 to D23. So let's just put this to the side in case we need it. And my first instruction says connect the H bridge PWM left green to digital port D0. Sounds like a different language, but it's not. I'm going to show you. So inside of Roli's body here, we have a couple different wires. And this is because Roli uses something called an H bridge to move. So all we have to do is connect these wires to our robot controller as we put it in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is it wants the green one. And actually, I'm going to place my EasyB V4. So see, there's a pin on the back. I'm going to put it in here to connect to the matching pin. Press it into place. All of the connections to the EasyB robot controller use male to female connections. This means that we have the male connection, so the male pin here on the board, and the female connection are the cables. Usually we want to pay attention to the colors that we're attaching our cable to. So in this case, we want all of these ones to line up on the white side of the pins. So I'm going to connect the first one, so green to the white side of D0, blue, white side of D1. Good, now purple to D2, Gonna bring my cables over here a little. There we go. So now I've got gray to D3, the white to D4, make sure that's all the way down, and the black to D5. All right, so I've got all 5 of those connected along the white side. You can see they're kind of like a long ribbon. They all just go one after each other. While I'm in here, I'm also going to connect this red and black connection. This is also going to go to D0, but this is going to be the red and black sides of D0. So we already have the green wire in the white area. So now I'm going to connect the red and black pins of D0. There we go. All right, so now our H bridge is all connected. Now I can click next. And we're going to add rotation servo as our left shoulder servo. So I've got my rotation servo here. Remember, these are the ones that have the single pivot point. I'm just going to undo my cables. And we want to make sure our orientation is the same as the picture that we're seeing. So if my rover body is facing this way, then I'm connecting to this side. And again, we're using our clip and play system, so we're just going to gently wiggle the male connector into the female connector. And we can take a look at different views. So if I want to see it from the top, I can confirm which of these slots I'm putting the servo into. So I know that I want it to be this first one here. So I want this bracket facing forward because this is where we're going to connect our next servo. So I'm going to wiggle down. Perfect. Now I need to connect this servo. So we've got rotation servo is going to servo port D15. So we can check the getting started guide. D15 is 1, 2, 3, 4 in along the bottom. Again, I want to match my colors. So we're going to match the black wire to the black side of the pins. So D15, there's a little tiny 15 down there, or I can count 12, 13, 14, 15. Line up black to black and slide in. Perfect. And click the next arrow. Now we need a lever servo, which is going to serve as the left elbow. So take a lever servo. This one's going to port D14, and it's going to go on the front of our other servo. You can kind of see this faint line, which we can also see on the builder there. We want that facing the top. So the slightly bigger connection to the bracket is on top. So I'm just going to slide this in. First, I'm going to make sure my cable goes out the back of the easy bit. Just makes it a little bit easier to connect. I'm going to slide into place again. Wiggle back and forth gently. Good, just until they connect. And now I'm going to D14, black to black, lining up. Perfect. And next, another lever servo. This one goes to D13 and is going to go off the front here. Just going to check another view to make sure I've got it right. So click the top view. So this time, again, I want my black line here facing outside. So I'm going to be sliding it in this way. So the white edge of my servo is facing towards the inside of Roli's body. So I'm going to wiggle it in this direction. Okay. And I'm going to move this one around to D13. Try not to tangle my wires too much. Black to black again. Good, so that's his left wrist. I'm going to click next again. Add servo gripper as left claw. So this is his left gripper. I'm going to take one of my grippers here, doesn't matter which one. Unravel it. And I want my cables facing to the inside. It's a bit easier. Again, if you want to click top, just to confirm, Gonna slide it in here. And this one connects to D12, which is the one right on the edge here. Lining up my colors again. There we go. Perfect. Click next. And now we're going to do the same thing, but on the other side. So I'm going to rotate my body here. Let's move this over here. I need another rotation servo. This one's going to port D19. So again, and I can check, make sure I've got symmetry here. Bracket facing forward. Wiggle into place, nice and gentle. Good, and we're going to connect to D19. Oh, black to black. Always want to check, make sure we've got the right pins, all 3 of them. There we go. Next, lever servo. This is going to be our right elbow. Check our orientation again. Good, come down from the top, slide into place. This one goes to D18. Always checking my colors. Good. Next, right wrist, which is another lever servo. Running out of servos here, that's good. And I always like to check my top view when I'm building Roli. Go, just to make sure I've got my orientation right. Good, we always want to be symmetrical. I'm going to move my cable out the back. There we go. Slide into place. And this one connects to 17. Good, and now next one should be our gripper. Click next. And sure enough, it is our right gripper claw. Actually, I'm going to do it this way, so my wire's coming from the inside. Slide down. And this one goes into D16. So all my black wires are on the same side. I can see them all lined up. Check all my connections there, looking good. Next, okay, we're gonna add the first servo for the neck. I'm gonna move my wires out of the way here. Put them on their either sides. There we go. Our last lever servo is going to be the vertical part of the neck. Again, I'm going to view from the front, and then I'm going to move to the top. So it goes this way. So white bracket here is on the left, or sorry, on my right when I'm looking at it. Left if you're behind Roli. I'm going to move my cable out the back again. Wiggle into place. I'm going to slide it back. There we go. Perfect. And this one connects to D9. Now D9 is back on our left vertical side of the EZB. So 1, 2, 3 from the bottom. One, two, 3 from the bottom. Check I've got all the pins. Make sure I'm not bending any. That wouldn't be good. All right, looks good. Next. Now our rotation servo for the upper part of the neck. This is going to be the horizontal movement. Okay, so I'm going to check my orientation. So I've got this bracket. My white edge is facing up. Slide in here. And this one goes to D10. Second from the bottom. Perfect. All right, second last step, putting on the camera. It looks like Roli's little head. So the camera is just going to slide into our very top servo here. There we go. Just gonna center it, there we go. Now this is a slightly different cable, so we're gonna need a slightly different port. So if we take a look, it wants us to connect to the camera port. So again, let's go to our Getting Started guide. And we can see the camera port is the longest one, right at the top of all those connections. So I'm going to bring it down, slide it into place. There we go. We want to hear that click to make sure we know it's connected nice and snug. Perfect. And our last step here, add the can. Bottle holder, robot tray, whatever you want to call it. We're going to add this back into the back. All right, now, what's really missing? He's got this whole mass of wires here and he's missing his cover. So we're going to tidy up the wires a little bit. Before we do that, let's just take a look. Go through our different views, make sure everything's connected properly. Our orientations all look good. Easy bits are nice and secure. From the front, everything looks the way it's supposed to. The right, the left, we can zoom in, we can zoom out. All right, those all look good. So it says our build is completed, which means now we're going to tidy up our wires. What I'm going to do is I'm going to group them into groups of 2. They're all kind of close to each other. So for instance, I've got my shoulder and my elbow, my wrist and my gripper, my shoulder and my elbow, my wrist and my gripper, my 2 neck servos. So I've got 5 groups of 2, and I have 5 wire wraps. So it's going to work perfect. When we're using wire wraps, this is to help tidy up our connections. So we're not restricting any movement, but we're also not letting the wires get in the way as the robot's trying to move. So we don't want to make our wires too tight so that now Roli can't move the full range of motion. But we want to just organize things a little bit. So we want to start at the edge closest to the Easy B. I'm just going to open up the wire wrap a little bit here. And we're just going to wrap around the bottom. And we can start wrapping all the way now up to the easy bits. So I've completed the first one, and we're going to do the same thing for our second pair over here. And we're going to go through the same process for my second group, my third group, my fourth group, and my fifth group. Okay, all of the wires are nicely organized, so now I just have 5 sections instead of 10 different wires. I've got a nice thick camera cable here, so I don't have to worry about that one. I'm going to feed all of my wires through the cover here. Just slide them through the top. Good, so now they're all coming out the center. And click down into place. Perfect. And that's it. We've fully built our Revolution Roli robot. Be sure to fully charge Roli before you go on and try connecting him. In this episode, we went through the steps to build the Revolution Roli robot. To get started, download the EasyBuilder software from EasyRobot.com and choose the typical install mode. Once the software is installed, read through and agree to the terms of use. You'll then be asked to either create an EasyCloud account or log in with an existing account. In the Bookmarks menu, click on the example projects. Open the example project for Roli. When prompted, open the build instructions. The instructions will go through the orientation of the EasyBits, how to connect them together, and where to connect the ports on the EasyB V4 robot controller. The controller uses male to female connections. That means the pins are the male side of the connection and the cables are the female side. Always be sure to line up the colors as in the directions or in the Getting Started guide. When connecting the cables to the H-bridge, which is used to control the DC motors, be sure to line all the cables up on the white side of the pins. Connect the black and red cables to the black and red connections of D0. All of the servo cables should line up with the black on the right-hand side. Each component, or EasyBit, uses the clip-and-play system. To clip the EasyBits together, gently wiggle the pressure fit connectors into each other. Go through building the left arm, the right arm, all the way down to the grippers. Add the next servos, and then finally the camera, connecting it to the camera port on the EasyB V4 controller. The camera is a type of peripheral. This means it allows us to bring in input information into our system. Use the wire wraps to tidy up the connections. I suggest grouping 2 wires together until you have 5 pairs, 1 for each wire wrap. Replace the cover on the EasyB and your Roli will be finished. Be sure to fully charge your robot before you try connecting. Thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Roli's cables are what type of connection? What is the label of the first digital port? Why is wire wrapping a good idea?
Find the answers at therobotprogram.com.